This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Hearing from my caregiver when she showed up at my house that my van was not in my driveway is my worst nightmare. I literally have had these thoughts of, what if I get up and my van is gone?
That woman's worst nightmare did come true over the weekend when her van was stolen right out of her driveway. A van that was fully equipped with handicap equipment that allowed her to get where she needed to go, including her job. More on this coming up in our top story.
And Portland State University has suspended its relationship with Boeing in response to pro-Palestinian protests on campus. Our Devin Haskins will have a breakdown of that decision coming up.
Maybe some of the most bizarre video from over the weekend. What the heck is going on here? Zebras near the freeway. Yeah, we're talking about I-90 up in Washington, east of Seattle. That's where zebras were spotted yesterday afternoon. We're going to bring you full details on how the heck those zebras ended up there. Yes, Rodney already has questions,
yes,
Christine.
Rod.
I live in Washington. That's quite normal.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
It's not a question. That's just a ridiculous statement.
That's a
to get
statement,
started
yeah.
on this Monday morning. It is a Monday. Chris will have your traffic update here in just a minute. But Rod, do you have any more wisdom to share with us as we get going here?
That's all I got. We will look at radar, though, as I walk over to the weather wall. We have two weather systems to start the week. One is this morning. A second one comes in tomorrow morning. Both will do this, bring us a pretty good shot of rain and bring snow to the Cascades. It's snowing down to 3,000 feet and even lower up in the mountains right now. We've had some heavy rain pockets. This one now north of Battleground starting to move out. There is a break in the action with scattered precip coming in from the west. Snow, snow, snow. That's our Timberline live cam. 26 degrees. Advisories are up through 2 p.m. Travelers should be advised of snow-covered roads up in the mountains this morning. We're at 47 in town, and it will be a cool day today. Here come your temperatures. I mean, it was cool over the weekend. We'll continue to see highs only in the 50s. 54 at noon. Fewer showers with some breaks this afternoon, 57. So, Chris, really right now is probably the wettest part of our day, sir.
And a nice wet morning commute it is. I can verify that as we look at the ODOT cameras. This is I-5 through North Portland up near Jansen Beach. It's, a lot of elbow room out there. Not much going on in terms of traffic, but the roads are certainly wet. This is I-205 over in the Clackamas area. You can see the road spray coming off the cars. And to Rod's point, heading up into elevation, Highway 26 at Government Camp, snow covered, so just be aware up in terrain through the Cascades. It'll be a winter wonderland, at least for the first part of the day today. Guys?
All right, we appreciate that update, Chris. Our top story this hour, a paralyzed Portland woman is struggling with her day-to-day life after the van she's been using to get around for the past 27 years was stolen out of her driveway.
As Ashley Grams found, she's not only worried about getting it back, but also possibly having to shell out more money to fix or replace the handicap equipment inside.
Instead of two legs, Lauren Silvis gets around on two wheels.
Paralyzed from the waist down since 1980.
But even confined to a chair for 44 years, she's still on the move.
I am independent.
Silvis also relies on a van outfitted with handicap equipment that enables her to drive herself to and from her job as a cashier at New Seasons.
I've had this van for 27 years.
On Sunday morning, it was stolen.
Hearing from my caregiver when she showed up at my house that my van was not in my driveway is my worst nightmare. I literally have had these thoughts of, what if I get up and my van is gone?
She did file a report with Portland police.
When I talked to them on the phone, they said they have a really pretty good recovery rate for finding people's vehicles.
Portland police say 81% of stolen vehicles are recovered within 30 days. And despite Silva's experience, police say car thefts have dropped 40% compared to last year. But her biggest concern?
I don't know. I don't know.
She's not sure if her insurance will cover the loss of her handicap equipment.
Hand controls, I have the super arm lift, the transfer seat, and automatic doors.
And without that, her life changes drastically.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do without my van.
Again, that was Ashley Grams reporting for us this morning. Our next story comes from Lynn County, where one person is dead after leading police on a car chase. Yesterday afternoon, state police responded to a reported shooting in Coburg, north of Eugene. Troopers found one person with critical injuries, and they also identified a vehicle of interest, winding up chasing that car down I-5. They used spike strips to stop the car and got into a shootout with the driver. The driver was killed. A passenger in that car was hurt and taken to the hospital. No law enforcement officers were hurt during this. State police at this time are investigating the shooting in Coburg. Albany police are investigating the shooting along I-5.
And one person was hurt in a fire at an apartment complex in the Pearl District. Portland Fire and Rescue responded to the 4th floor of the Emmons Place apartments around 10 o'clock last night. Crews put out that fire but found someone unconscious inside. The person was taken to the hospital with potentially life-threatening injuries. Investigators haven't figured out what caused the fire, but say it was most likely an accident.
Now to the search for a Vancouver woman who's been missing for over a month. Friday night, friends held a vigil for Christina Ace on what would have been her 62nd birthday.
I'm sure if she was here today, we would have been celebrating with her at work.
The group gathered at Glenwood Park, which is where she's believed to have been last seen. Detectives say on March 26th, her cell phone moved between the park and at least one other home. Investigators found her car mysteriously parked near her home the next day. And a powdery white residue, something like a cleaning agent, coated several surfaces of the interior.
It's hard to explain. It's really hard not having any answers, not understanding what happened to her.
It's like she was just ripped from us, from her life, from everything.
Vancouver police still consider this an active missing person investigation. Crime Stoppers, meanwhile, is offering a reward of $2,500 for any information that leads to Christina's discovery.
Portland State University says it'll temporarily put a pause on its relationship with Boeing after a protest on campus Friday, and protesters for months who have been asking the university to take a stand.
KGW's Devin Haskins has more on the story for us this morning, including the outcry on campuses all across the country. Good morning there, Devin.
Yeah, according to the student newspaper, students have been asking PSU for months to get the university to cut its ties with Boeing. On Friday, PSU's president wrote a letter saying PSU would put a pause on that relationship for now. A couple dozen protesters against the war in Gaza gathered on the downtown campus Friday night. One of the main messages here, wanting PSU to break from Boeing. Protesters say they're concerned the company is helping advance Israel's military efforts in Gaza. Portland State does not have any investments in Boeing, but Boeing does provide scholarship money and has given the school a $150,000 gift to name a classroom. In response to the outcry from students and staff, the university says it has paused gifts or grants from Boeing. Nationally, over the weekend, protests continued at multiple college campuses. In California, protests and dueling protests spilled out on the UCLA campus over the weekend. At USC Saturday, the school's famed Trojan statue was vandalized. Across the country, hundreds were arrested or detained for protesting on campuses. Like in Missouri, where 80 people were arrested over the weekend at Washington University. Some have since been released.
There are people who don't have the choice on whether their life is risked over this or not. If all I have to risk is maybe sitting in a cell for a minute to help that, I will.
All right, so back to the Portland State situation. The university says it'll host a moderated forum with students and faculty next month. Christine?
Okay, thank you for that report, Devin. And check this out, up in Seattle, or the Seattle area rather, a pretty unusual scene. Zebras were seen in the area of I-90 in North Bend, running along I-90. There you see them. North Bend, of course, about 30 miles east of Seattle, if you're unfamiliar. Washington State Patrol says the animals were being transported when they escaped. 3 have been wrangled, but police say 1 is still on the loose.
I mean, we get bears all the time, and I caught plenty of those on my security cameras, so to catch 3 zebras walking up my driveway was quite the sight to see.
Yeah, quite the sight to see.
That would be bizarre, wouldn't it?
Right, a little.
Sure.
So no word on where the zebras came from or where they were headed.
Yeah, you see a bear, you're like, oh my gosh, there's a bear in my backyard. What am I going to do?
Right.
You see a zebra, you start rubbing your eyes going,
Like,
that can't
what?
be right.
What's going on?
That can't be real.
If your partner, your spouse calls you, honey, we've zebras on our security camera. Put down the scotch. Just
it's okay.
Relax
just breathe.
Until I get home.
I would think something was wrong with the person reporting the information, correct?
Yes. Here's a look at our active start to the week. Again, we have 2 lows. The first one right here, throwing a lot of rain inland at this hour, and then you can see the spinning up here. This comes in tomorrow morning. So the headlines of the forecast, We have a little bullseye of rain this morning. That breaks in a few showers during the afternoon. Tomorrow, same thing, a bullseye of rain in the morning, breaking into scattered showers during the day. Now, the second one is a lot more unstable, and it brings tomorrow a thunderstorm threat into the forecast. For today, we've had some heavy rain pockets, but no thunder and lightning. We have the snow falling down to 3,000 feet and probably even lower than that up in the Cascades. That's the snow where you see the white. Again, advisories are up through 2 p.m. for our local area. You can see this wave of rain that's hit all of us from Salem up into Longview is now starting to move mainly east of I-5, but there are more scattered showers back to the west that will be coming in. There's that Timberline sky cam, 26 degrees. All Cascade passes show snow cover at this hour. 47 is the number in town, winds southwest to 8 miles per hour. Here are your other current temperatures. Burns, I believe you folks will be dry today. You are the cold spot right now with partly cloudy skies and 33. It's in the 40s out through the Dalles, 45 out in Pendleton. Currently, here's Futurecast 8:30 this morning. Again, the snow in the Cascades. We talked about this last week, that it was expected to hit pass level this morning. That has come true. You can see the scattered showers still feeding in, but then we get into the afternoon and it's much drier. There's kind of a moisture break, if you will. We'll open up some sun breaks. Still a scattered shower threat later today, but clearly not as wet as what we're getting right now. And then tomorrow morning, everything revs up all over again, as I mentioned a moment ago, with more snow sticking down to around 3,000 feet or lower in the Cascades. And then tomorrow in the afternoon, more shower activity than we'll see today. And again, tomorrow has that threat of thunderstorms kind of mixing in. Here's the first day of May on Wednesday, and that looks to be all dry, some morning cloudiness in spots, and then otherwise a partly cloudy Wednesday for you. Temperatures are cool, only in the mid-50s today. By the way, I checked because I was curious. The record for the coldest high temperature for today's day out of PDX is 49 degrees, meaning your high would have to be only 49 to tie a record for coldness. And we'll be in the mid-50s, about 10 degrees colder than normal, but not near record territory. All right, Wednesday, there's that nice day, and then some showers Thursday. Friday is the warm one of the week, sunshine 70. Then there's a low that moves into California on Saturday that may or may not throw showers north into our area. Right now, I think Sunday's dry, and that's your update.